Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sal speaking. Today I'm going to talk about swords. Specifically, I'm going to talk about African and Middle Eastern swords versus the swords of the Indian subcontinent. The concept of a sword is very simple. It's a long blade with a grip at one end. However, it is a weapon that offers many possible varieties in form as well as great versatility in use. It is more adaptable and more subtle than the axe, which is one of its antecedents, being easily adapted to thrusting, parrying as well as cutting. Longer than a dagger and not easily concealed. It has been regarded as a honorable weapon in many cultures. More than any other type of weapons, the sword has reached an amazing status as an art form, as a symbol of war, justice, military skill, and honor. The sword is a unique weapon and is very prestigious as well. In Japan, the sword was at the heart of the cult of the samurai warrior. In medieval Europe, the simple cross-shaped sword was a symbol of Christianity, especially associated with crusaders and with the cult of chivalry. In many armies, the sword is retained for ceremonial use, especially for officers, and thus has become a sign of rank. The sword is also used as a just symbol of retribution under the law. So let's take a look at the African swords and Middle Eastern swords now. Here are the basic parts of a sword. We have a hilt, we have a blade, a pommel, a grip, a guard, we have the edge and the point. So talking about proto-swords, we have a flint knife from ancient Egypt. This is about as long a blade as can be made in stone, and it is too brittle for practical use. Wooden club edged with shark's teeth from Kiribati, Gilbert Islands. Wooden sword from New Guinea, made an imitation of the cutlass of a visiting Western sailor. Dao from Assam, although usually classed as axes, specimens as long as these are almost swords. Chopper from Malabar, India, a simple form of sword. Two-edged sword from Gabon, West Africa, thin steel blade, the grip bound with copper and brass wire. Takoba sword of the Tuaregs of the Sahara. Flisa sword of the Kabilas people of Morocco, single-edged blade, engraved and inlaid with brass. Kaskara two-edged straight sword of the Bagirmi people of the Sahara, similar in style to the Sudanese swords. Two-edged sword of the Maasai people, East Africa, blade of flat diamond-shaped section, no guard. Shotel, two-edged double-curved sword from Ethiopia. The curved tip is used to reach behind an opponent's shield. Sudanese sword with characteristically straight two-edged blade and cross-shaped guard. Arab sword with a blade probably of European make, 18th century, silver gilt, hilt and mounts. Arab sword with a blade, probably of European make, 18th century, silver gilt, hilt and mounts. Arab sword from Dongola with a tapered two-edged steel blade having geometric patterns and a crocodile cut into it, ebony and ivory hilt. Kilij Turkish saber. This example has a 15th century blade and 18th century mounts. Typically, the blade broadens near the tip with a straight sharp edge on the back. Yatagan of typical form. Turkish sword with forward curved single-edge blade. Bone grips with large pommel, no guard. Yatagan with solid silver hilt and blade set, with coral stones, Turkish. Saif, a curved Arab sword with distinctive pommel, found wherever there have been Arab communities. Shaska, a sword from the Caucasus, originally Circassian, but later in widespread use with Russian cavalry, Persian blade, dated 1819. Kinjal, a weapon from the Caucasus, found in short sword size as here. Shamshir, of typical form, the classic Persian saber, with curved blade and distinctive hilt, also found in India. Shamshir, with flamboyant blade and gold inlaid steel hilt, Persian. Kadara, a name given sometimes to a large kinjal. Let's take a look now to the swords of the Indian subcontinent. Chora or Kibar knife, the heavy single-edged sword of the Afghans and Pathans from the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Tulwar or Talwar, Indian sword characterized by a curved blade and a distinctive hilt with disc-shaped pommel. This one is Muslim from northern India, 17th century. Tulwar, with broad blade for executions, northern India, 18th or 19th century. Tulwar with Punjabi-style steel, hilt incorporating a knuckle guard, from Indore, late 18th century. Kanda with gilt steel hilt of the old Indian style, straight two-edged blade, from Nepal, 18th century. Kanda of more typical form than the previous one, hilt of Hindu basket style, with a spur to allow two-handed grip. Note the blade's reinforcing trim, Maratha, 18th century. Sosun Patta, hilt of Hindu basket style, forward curved reinforced blade with a single edge, Central India, 18th century. South Indian sword with steel hilt, square wooden pommel and forward curved blade, Madras, 16th century. Sword from a temple of the Nayar people, with a brass hilt and two-edged steel blade, from Tanjore, southern India, 18th century. South Indian sword with steel hilt and flamboyant two-edged blade, from Madras, 18th century. Pata, Indian gauntlet sword with steel guard for the hand and wrist, chased and gilded, from Oudh, now Uttar Pradesh, 18th century. Adiya Katti of typical form, short, heavy blade with forward angle cutting edge, silver hilt, from Korg, southwest India. Zafar Takye, Indian sword of a type traditionally held by a ruler giving an audience. The pommel is shaped to form a hand rest. Firangi, a word meaning foreign, applied in India to a European blade having an Indian hilt. This one is a Maharatha sword using a 17th century German blade. Two-handed two-edged sword with hollow iron grip, from central India, 17th century. Kora of typical form, sharpened along the tip and the inside edge of the curve, Nepal, 18th century. Kukri of a long narrow form, popular in the 19th century, Nepal, 1850. Kukri with chiseled iron hilt and gracefully curved blade, Nepal, probably 19th century. Kukri, Indian Army issue, World War II, made by a contractor in northern India, 1943. Ramdao, a sword used in Nepal and northern India for the sacrifice of animals. A variety of extravagant shape is known. Well guys, I personally like Middle Eastern swords. I think they're very nice, I think they're very versatile, and I really like the shape, so this is just a preference. I'm not talking about which one I think is more effective, because to have a guard is indeed an advantage. but I really like all types of swords, really. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you've gained more knowledge, and I'm always surprised when I make these videos because I didn't know that there were so many different types of swords. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you feel sad, you better call Sal. Bye-bye.